The following program is brought to you by Pizza Productions.
Yeah, you made a lot of promises to the Macho Man, didn't you?
The first thing I want to be done is to get that piece of crap out of my ring.
When I said I loved you like a brother, Macho Man, I meant it.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new episode of the Totally Necessary Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Porter, and we're here to cover the week that was professional wrestling. Holy shit, guys. If you read the synopsis, if you read the title, this is indeed our final ride. This is our final chapter here on the Totally Necessary Wrestling Podcast. It's with a heavy heart. We come here on this last episode of the podcast, and just saying, hey man, you just gotta know when it's time to throw in the towel, man. Like Helen Hart at the Survivor Series in 1994, throwing in the towel there for her son Brett, allowing Bob Backlund to win the World Wrestling Federation Championship. That's what we're doing right now, guys. We're pulling a Helen Hart, dude. We're throwing the towel in, guys. I don't know, dude. It's just, life. It's just life, basically. I mean, it's not like, we're going to stop watching wrestling or anything. It's like, I'm going to continue watching professional wrestling, guys. It's just kind of, over the past couple of weeks and months, really, we've known that there's going to be a big change here in terms of the schedule for professional wrestling. I mean, you got Monday Night Raw on Mondays, Tuesdays is Smackdown right now, and then NXT on Wednesdays, right? So it's kind of it was easy for me to, watch 3 days of professional wrestling, record a podcast, and then throw it up, on a Thursday night, Friday night, which I apologize for coming in a little late. I wanted to, I don't know. I totally anticipated to record last night, but I got home late from comedy down at Hop Nation, so I got some dinner and I just ended up going to bed. And then tonight, this evening, it was just hanging out with my family because, that's what we did. We went and rode bikes, dude. I got a fucking brand new bike, dude. Oh, shit, dude. I'm so stoked. I got to go ride it. I got a helmet, so I kind of look like a dork, but it's hey, I'm a safe dork, man. Come on, guys. So yeah, just we kind of knew that the crossroad was coming. It was easy for me to do this podcast while it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday scenario. Throw in, obviously, we had Ring of Honor also in there for some time that we were covering. We made this last as long as we could, I suppose. But now, SmackDown's going to be on a Friday. You got NXT and AEW's on Wednesday. Mondays are still Raw. It's not that much more professional wrestling than what we've been covering or anything, but it's just, I don't know, just the powers that be in my life of, we just kind of had a powwow here, and it's just well, where are we devoting our time? What are we doing with our lives? That type of moment, one of those conversations. And, it's not initially the decision was made oh, I got to give up the podcast, but I started thinking about it because I initially told her, I was well, if I change anything, I unfortunately would give up doing the Totally Necessary Wrestling Podcast just for time's sake. I don't know. I guess I'm trading in my uniform and I'm going back to being a civilian professional wrestling fan. I suppose. I don't know. I just this school year is coming up, man. It's just kids got homework and shit. It's dude, I could continue doing this till the day I die. I truly could. Honestly, it's not this has been too much of a burden coming into this podcast or anything like that. It's been a fucking pleasure to be able to speak with you guys week in, week out for the last 106 episodes, man. And truthfully, dude, we were at a crossroads last year. When me and Cody kind of split there, dude, and, because obviously you listen to those, up until then, Cody James was the co-host on this podcast. And I made a decision because, at that time, kind of when that, breakup happened and shit, it was kind of well, do I continue doing this? Do I not continue doing this? And, I generally enjoy watching professional wrestling, and I generally enjoy getting into a room and getting on a microphone and talking about it. Now, you know what I mean? So that's why we decided, we did a little bit of tweak to the name and, went from the Totally Unnecessary Wrestling Podcast, which was a fucking way better name But just through tiff taff, like I was gonna change the name outright, but just based on the way that shit show fucking ended, I ended up just tweeting. I was like, "Fuck it, dude! Like it's my show, fucking my copyright. I fucking own this shit, dude. Like, you know, there you go." So it's like, well, I just tweaked the fucking name, and you know, I just gave it a little bit of a tweak, and just we moved forward, and you know, here we are about a year later, and you know, we're signing off. You know, again, I say I come here with a heavy heart, man, just because, like, you know, I put a lot of time into this. You know, this is definitely, you know, was a passion project. Like, I always wanted to have, you know, some sort of thing that I devoted to professional wrestling, and this is it. This is me living out my dream, getting to sit here and talk about it and broadcast it to you people that, you know, faithfully listen week in, week out, dude. And it's just like a thank you so much for the fucking time that you put in to listening to my bullshit. You know, and it is what it is. I mean, hopefully you got out of it as much as I put into it, I suppose. I don't know really where we're going with this episode. We'll get to the week that was professional wrestling. We'll definitely go through one more rundown here before we sign off for the last time. I just, you know, I guess now it's just, you know, I'm kind of like dreading doing this podcast. I have a little bit of anxiety about doing this because it is like, I don't know, it's final. And it's like at the same time though, like I am a little relieved, like to not like, okay, cool. Now I literally, all I have to do, you know, during the week is like one podcast now. It's like on Mondays we can record for the Totally Necessary Wrestling podcast. And then we still do the In the Mouth of Madness podcast because that is like once a month we have to get together for that. So, you know, that being said, you know, it's just like, it does take a, you know, you know, it's like, I look at it, it's like, dude, it's just wrestling. Like, it's not that big like of a commitment, but it's like, when you really think about it, it's like, really, it is a big commitment. Cause it's like this past Tuesday, I didn't watch Smackdown cause I was like, well, we're going to do the last episode this week. So it's like, I'll do what I normally do and I'll listen to the podcast. And it's like, do I go back? And I don't have to like, you know, I don't have to like commit myself every Monday I gotta watch wrestling. I have to watch it. And it's like, and it's been fun getting back into it this last, like, it's like before I started doing this podcast, I wasn't watching wrestling every single week. I was basically catching highlights and picking and choosing what I was watching. I'd always watch, you know, the pay-per-views on the network and stuff every month. But I mean, I definitely wasn't watching Monday Night Raw or SmackDown like weekly ever, hardly ever. I was never watching it. But it wasn't until we started doing this podcast, it was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta start watching it. And I really fell back in love with professional wrestling, dude. I really fell back in love with it. Starting, you know, this podcast last year back in, I guess 2018. Fucking crazy. April of 2018. So I've had a lot of fun. I mean, Jameson, I think, is at that age where I was when I was a kid. And I fell in love with professional wrestling. And I really think he's kind of like the whole family's gotten a little bit closer together in regards to professional. Because that's what we did. Like we would every Monday we watch Raw. Like that's what we do. And you know, not every week we watch SmackDown, just depending on what's going on and shit. But like we would always make an effort to, you know, watch. Like me and Jameson definitely watch Monday Night Raw, and that's not gonna change. Like my habits aren't gonna change, but it's just now that I don't know. Because again, it's just like what you take 45 minutes to record one episode a week. I don't know. Like, again, it's not like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot. You know, it really is a lot to put into and to be managing, you know, basically at least 2 podcasts a week, you know. I mean, that is a lot. It really is. I mean, I guess if you've never done it, you really don't know what I'm talking about. And again, like on the surface, just even going through it, you know, I'm like, God, it doesn't really seem that much. But again, like I think that's my passion for the projects, you know, that's my passion coming through. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, do what you love. This is what we love. We do what we love. Like, I would not want to do anything else besides this shit, you know? But that being said, though, you know, it's just like, man, I don't know. It's just a little bit less off my plate. I just need to take a little bit off my plate at this point here. And instead of like, you know, pushing forward and keep doing what we're doing, I just kind of feel like we need to change a little bit. And, you know, stepping back into being a civilian, I'm actually kind of excited and like that, like, oh shit, I get to watch, you know, All Out next weekend and I don't have to do a podcast about it. You know what I mean? Like I get you know, Night of Champions coming up. I'm going to watch it and I don't have to do a podcast at like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, you know? It's like, instead of like the pay-per-view getting over and having to go sit in the garage by myself, it's like, oh, I'm just going to hang out with my kids and maybe we'll talk about it, you know? And I don't know, dude. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be I get to spend more time with I get like that extra hour with my kids, and that's fucking cool, man. That's fucking cool. There's a lot of fucking love within that. I love my kids, man. I fucking love those kids. I don't know. I always say, dude, I fucking hate that. And it's really hot in this fucking garage right now. It was like 90 today. It was like within the 90s. I don't know. Plus, yeah, I was out riding my bikes before I started recording this. So it's like, yeah, we're just kind of, you know, coming down, I guess, off that. But yeah, professional wrestling, dude. Like, I fucking love it. Trying to like think of anything else we need to like cover on this. Like, again, this is my like goodbye to, you know, this podcast. The cool thing is, though, you know, you know, it feels like, you know, we're taking possibly like 2 steps back, but maybe we'll be able to like, you know, take a giant leap forward, and this will lead to other things. Cause like I have other shit like brewing my brain of like what we can do with this like not this podcast, but like other podcasts that can be created within the universe and whatnot. And it's like the ideas that I have in my head that, you know, I've fantasized about, you know, for some time. If we could pull it off, dude, like it would be really cool. So, I mean, always, you know, definitely keep it, you know, it's not like our feed is going away, dude, or anything. I mean, you know, it's just like how Jameson's podcast, the Dragon Ball Z Happy Fun Time Hour. I mean, that thing almost went a full year, dude. We went like 40 some odd episodes on that thing, dude. I mean, just with this, I mean, you know, we just, you know, it's like and me personally, I have to like be able to step away knowing when it's time. You know, it's time, and time is time. When the time is time, the time is time. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The time is right, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, 106 episodes, dude. I mean, that's nothing to fucking sneeze at. It's pretty fucking, it's a substantial amount of time that we put into this, and it will live forever out there on the internet. You know, it's not like these episodes are going away or anything. So, it's pretty cool, man. It's like, you know, I don't often step back and like, you know, realize the work that I do put into this shit. You know, it's like I do put a lot of fucking work into this, and I put a lot of time and, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, dude. 100%, like 100% goes into this shit. And, you know, it's just, but then you stop and think, it's like, well, it's really not a lot though, but it's like, it really is a lot. You know, you sacrifice a lot. Do you? I don't know. I mean, yeah, you sacrifice time. I guess that's what you're sacrificing. So, all right, guys. Well, like, we're not done yet. All right, let's go ahead. I'm getting all choked up, guys. Let's go ahead and cover the week that was professional wrestling one more time here on the Totally Necessary Wrestling Podcast. We kicked off Monday Night Raw with Roman Reigns taking on Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is quite possibly doing it's the best work of his career with whatever like shtick he's got going with this whole fucking, I don't know. It's like he's taken this whole whining thing to just a different level at this point, and it's finally breaking through. I don't know. I think a lot of people out there are getting behind Dolph Ziggler. Whatever he's been doing, dude. Whatever he's been doing since he's coming back for this Kofi Kingston angle, and you know, going and, you know, obviously moving forward now. It was a good match, man. Like, I don't know. Dude, again, like, I think Roman Reigns proves, again, like, I think we said it last week, and I know we've said it before, but like, you know, you compare him to John Cena. John Cena wasn't the best wrestler in the ring, but he fucking brought it every single time. And I think it's the same thing with Roman Reigns. Whether or not you want to argue he's number 1 or number 1B at this point, I really don't know. I would assume he's still considered to be a top guy, the top dog in WWE. But shit, dude, fucking like smoking too much weed, guys. Smoking way too much fucking weed. So yeah, it was a fun opening match. Like, it's good to see a match open up Monday Night Raw for once, you know. And I know we don't get that every single week, but when it happens, I definitely am paying attention. So we did see Jerry Lawler was supposed to be Jerry Lawler was on commentary this week, filling in for Corey Graves, who actually got a fucking vacation. So congratulations, Corey. Hopefully it was you had some fun. So we again, Sasha Banks was gonna be on in the ring for King's Court. This was announced earlier in the day. And then so we had Jerry Lawler kind of giving his thoughts on the King of the Ring, which was beginning this past Monday. And then all of a sudden, boom, the light shut out. It's the fucking Fiend, dude. One of the best characters in WWE right now, dude. The Fiend, Jerry Lawler, good for you getting the fuck out of Dodge. But then ultimately, the Fiend shows up from behind and fucking nails him with the mandible claw and continues, dude. It's Leatherface, dude. It's Freddy Krueger, it's a horror character. That's what I mean. Tom Savini designed the masks and the lantern, dude. I mean, that's who develops these masks for like Rowan and Harper and fucking Bray Wyatt, dude. It's Tom fucking Savini, dude. That's amazing. So cool. Great segment with him taking out Jerry Lawler. I don't know exactly where he's going to be going in terms of a feud next, but the less is better in this situation. Like, I don't want to see him every single fucking week. Like, he doesn't have to. He just needs to pop up when he needs to pop up and pick your fucking spots, WWE. But all out, dude. I'm totally behind the Fiend. Since we're not, covering anything in the future, obviously, it'd be cool. I don't know. Like, I want to kind of see the rematch of him and The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like, I kind of want to see it, but this time the Fiend goes over. Fucking Bray Wyatt should have gone over John Cena that fucking first year at WrestleMania 30. He should have beat the fucking Undertaker at WrestleMania 31. Fuck off, dude. Fuck the fuck off. WWE fucked him over from the fucking get-go. So they better not fuck up. I better not have to come back on here in like a year and be like, they fucked up the Fiend, dude. They fucked up the Fiend. Like, please don't, WWE. Please don't. So in preparation for the King of the Ring tournament, we have teams of The Miz and Ricochet taking on Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin, which Ricochet is going to take on Drew McIntyre next week. The Miz taking on Baron Corbin in King of the Ring action. Ricochet and The Miz defeated Corbin and McIntyre by pinfall. This is actually a pretty decent match, I thought. I mean, I actually kind of thought Ricochet looked like a fucking badass in this match here. Baron Corbin, congratulations for getting a tank top and like getting out of that Applebee's fucking uniform and shit, dude. I thought he looked pretty good in the tank top. I didn't think it looked that bad. I thought it looked a lot better than what he has in the past. So, I actually really enjoyed this match, man. Like, I thought all guys did a very serviceable job inside the ring, and I'm looking forward to their matches next week to continue the King of the Ring tournament. So we saw United. So last week it was set up at the end of Monday Night Raw where AJ Styles basically told Braun Strowman he's going to give him a title match after the beatdown that occurred with the OC as we left Raw the week prior. So we saw Braun Strowman take on AJ Styles. So this match ended up in. So I think they also had a pre-tape segment later or like earlier in the night where Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman basically was it? Yeah, okay, no. So this happens. So the match happens. Basically, the OC gets involved. Rollins shows up. Fucking, they clear house. And then in the back, they, like Rollins and fucking Strowman were like, oh, I know you want my championship, but right now we could get a World Tag Team Champion title shot. And like, so like they're going to team up. They're going to do the whole team up and, challenge and champion, team up to face said tag team champions. I mean, that was like back as a kid, dude. That was like one of my favorite things that happened the summer of '97 was Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin teaming up and fucking taking on Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith and fucking winning the tag championships. And like anytime, and same, a couple weeks later was like Dude Love and fucking Steve Austin. Like same with the year after that with the Undertaker teaming up with Steve Austin. It's kind of repeated that. They kind of repeat that a lot. I don't know. It is repeated a lot, but I personally I like that. Like, I like seeing them, as a team. I always enjoyed like Lethal Lottery, dude, when you get like the random pairings and shit. And, like I like seeing tag teams that you don't normally get to see every single week or anything, or ever, I guess in this case. So they set up the main event for the World Tag Team titles. They were going to challenge the OC. We would see that later in the evening. In King of the Ring action, guys, the very first match within the King of the Ring tournament, Samoa Joe took on Cesaro, dude. Now, this was like, I didn't like really study the bracket that much in regards to like what matches really stood out. And this, like, in the first round, dude, this match stood the fuck out. And I didn't get to finish this whole match because I ended up having to like take off, go outside and like get some like fucking yard work done. Like, and Jameson was watching it, so I was like, all right, let's let you finish it. And like he said, it was a good match. Okay, so from Jameson, he said Samoa Joe and Cesaro had a good fight, as he put it. But Samoa Joe defeated Cesaro by submission to advance in the King of the Ring tournament. So hey, Samoa Joe winning the King of the Ring tournament. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Maybe. It'd actually be pretty fucking cool if Samoa Joe won the King of the Ring, guys. Okay, so then we had Elias segment where so he's going to do his concert, and then everything's fucking up. Fucking R-Truth gets exposed to be the shitty stagehand that fucked everything up. I think what ended up I don't think anything ended up happening. I think like Truth didn't get the pin or anything. I think Elias ended up getting away. So I mean, not much to really say. I mean, they're kind of just continuing the same old shit. It's not to say I'm getting bored of it or anything, but again, it's just the same old shit that we've been seeing the week in, week out. Something I really enjoyed the whole Rey Mysterio backstage segment, possibly like taking off his mask and announcing his retirement, and then Dominic shows up, and like I enjoyed that, dude. I was like, damn, that's fucking emotions. Like I can see Paul Heyman coaching up Rey Mysterio in that moment, telling him like, I love it. I loved it. I really did. I love the emotion that was put out by Rey Mysterio. And then I don't know what they're going to do with Dominic. I mean, I would imagine it's not like he's been that training for that long. So like, are they really going to put him in the, I don't know. I'm interested to see, but I don't know. I really hope it's not a David Flair scenario here in regards to Dominic. I'd much rather see this guy get more seasoning. And like, I don't understand like why it's like he went to Calgary, he got trained by Lance Storm, and like, I don't know, go to fucking Mexico, like go to fucking Germany, go to fucking Japan, go to England, go travel. That's what I'd be doing, dude. I'd just be getting I'd be getting my feet wet, dude. Like, man, I wish I would have been a professional wrestler, dude, man. That's one thing, man. Like, if I could ever train to do a match, at least one match, I would do it, dude. If I was given the opportunity, hell yeah, I'm going to train for that shit, dude. New Day took on Revival in tag team action. So the New Day defeated the Revival by DQ. This was fucking amazing. So what? Do we have a new faction, the Revival and Randy Orton? Fucking sign me up, dude. This whole beatdown of Xavier Woods and just, oh man, so well done, dude. So well done. A++++. Dude, it's like when Randy Orton gets motivated, motherfucker gets motivated, dude. And then whatever, man, this whole feud with Kofi Kingston has just been stepped up a notch with this whole adding the Revival to it. And, I don't know if they're going to come out of it with all the gold. I don't know what's going to happen, but like, I'm definitely interested going into Night of Champions. Okay, so within the evening, we saw Becky Lynch give a promo, which was, I thought, a really decent promo backstage. I thought that was one of her better ones that we, compared to like what we have seen in the past as of recently. And then we saw Sasha Banks' rebuttal. Basically, it was a sit down with Michael Cole backstage, and she basically just acted like a bitch, talked about her blue hair, how everybody was talking about it, and it wasn't like, I mean, it was good. I mean, like, she just walks off like nonchalantly, like she doesn't give a fuck, and that's good. I mean, that's what we want to see from a heel Sasha Banks, dude. So I'm totally digging Sasha Banks as a bad guy. We saw Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville take on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. A lot of people shit all over this. While there was some like, messiness like within the match, like it's not like it was a great match or anything. I really thought like, I don't know, dude. I thought like Sonya Deville put in a lot of effort, dude. Like I watched her in that match and I was like, paying attention, and I was like, they're working, they're putting in the effort, and it's like, you're not always going to hit a fucking home run, especially, like a 2-minute match or whatever on TV. I mean, whatever, dude. I'm glad to see that Cross and Bliss are getting wins over tag teams. I mean, it's a lot more than they could say what happened with the Iconics. I mean, it's not like the Iconics were doing shit throughout the whole entire fucking time having those women's tag team championships. So it's good to see that Cross and Bliss are actually, getting wins and defending the titles and whatnot. So Sami Zayn took on Cedric Alexander. Damn, dude. Sami Zayn lost to Cedric Alexander, and Alexander is advancing into the King of the Ring tournament. I don't know, man. Again, I'm just gonna wait and see, and we're gonna see how the tournament fucking rolls out, dude. I think it's cool, man, that they're bringing back the King of the Ring, dude. That was always like, as a kid, dude, that was my favorite fucking thing was the King of the Ring, dude. I think that's like most people from our generations that, watched back in the 90s, dude. Like that was it, dude. That was like the one thing every year, dude. I was like so stoked for. Every June, dude. There's like school gets out and the King of the Ring, dude. So like, I don't know. I'm kind of like on a mission on, right now to collect all the King of the Ring VHS tapes, the original releases from, when we were kids and shit. So like, that's what I'm, hunting down right now. And King of the Ring, dude, it'll always be one of my favorites. Main event time, guys. Main event time. We saw the Raw Tag Team Champions, the OC, take on Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. Not really much to say about the match. I mean, it was what it was. The ending was kind of fucking fluky, I thought. Even though, like, I don't know, somebody, like, I think it was, like, Michael Cole, one of the two, because they had, was it Vic Grimes was, like, doing some fucking commentary? That guy's pretty good, actually. Whoever that guy was that they put on commentary, once Lawler got taken out by The Fiend, was pretty fucking good. Vic Grimes, I think. It was good. Dude, fucking, I wouldn't mind hearing more of that guy on WWE TV. So, with that being said, we ultimately did see Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman capture the Raw World Tag Team Championships in the main event. Nothing bad to say there. I mean, obviously, we're going towards a Braun Strowman-Seth Rollins match at Night of Champions, I would assume, maybe. It hasn't been quite announced exactly what's going to happen. I imagine the OC is going to pick up the titles here, within the next week or two. I mean, because that's always how the storyline goes and shit. So we'll see what happens there. It's not like that. It's not like the OC was really truly like defending them too much. I mean, they just kind of have had the titles since a couple weeks ago with it. But again, like I mean, they're muscle to AJ Styles, and I like seeing them all with the tag championships anyway. So, or all of them having a championship, represented within their faction. So. That being said, dude, that was Monday Night Raw, dude. As my final, covering of Monday Night Raw, I thought it was a pretty fun episode. Like, I sat through all 3 hours on Monday night, and I watched it, and I wasn't that bored. I was pretty entertained throughout the whole show, so hopefully you guys were as well. So I did not watch Smackdown this week, but I, just based on, like, kind of seeing, Randy Orton kicked off SmackDown, then we saw Kofi Kingston get involved, and those two had a beatdown. So I could imagine the promo there, is a Randy Orton promo. I mean, you've seen one Randy Orton promo. You've seen them all. That being said, I like seeing a Randy Orton promo, though. I do like seeing a Randy Orton promo. I've always been a fan of his. Kofi Kingston getting some anger out. That's one thing I really enjoyed about Monday night with that whole angle with the Revival taking out, Xavier. Was just the emotion and getting away from the pancakes and all this bullshit we always bitch about. It's like, all right, guys, like, you're in the main event, dude. Like, I want a little bit more. And I really think that they're answering the call. Like, every chance that they've gotten, like, I don't know. Like, I know some people were out there probably, like, a little down on Kofi Kingston, but, like, I'm fucking, dude, I've been behind the guy the whole entire time. Like, I've been behind this push the whole entire time. Like, it's been fun. Like, ever since Elimination Chamber, basically. Like, like, it's been a good fucking ride. Apollo Crews took on Andrade in King of the Ring action. Yeah, there's no way fucking Crews was gonna fucking lose that shit, dude. Andrade, dude, I think Andrade has a good chance of advancing and becoming a King of the Ring this year. I don't know if it's gonna happen. But I think it's gonna be a good story the next couple weeks. Damn, dude, I love a tournament, dude. I really do love a tournament. A moment of bliss with Charlotte Flair. So apparently, yeah, this is where they announced that Charlotte's going to challenge Bayley at Night of was it Clash of Champions? Champions of Clash. I don't know. Clash of Champions. So this, again, like that match that they had that first night that Bayley got drafted, like, or was on SmackDown or whatever. I forget. I don't know if it was their first night on SmackDown, but it was like a couple of months ago. I really enjoyed the chemistry. I've always enjoyed the chemistry, of Charlotte and anybody within the Four Horsemen. You throw Becky, Sasha, all four of those women have chemistry together. And so I look forward to this match. I don't know if this is where Charlotte finally takes the title from Bayley. I don't know if Bayley's reign is going to last that much longer. I think a lot of people were pretty fucking down on that feud with Ember Moon with the lack of, like, just, I know us going into that match. I'm pretty sure we said some comments where we were down on Bayley in regards to, what, I don't know. Without seeing what happened on Tuesday, I can't really comment on that. But I think just overall, in general, if I were to classify Bayley's reign as a success or a failure, you kind of got to go a little bit more towards a failure on it. Not necessarily failure. I think that's too strong, but it's just like it's somewhere in the middle. It's somewhere in the middle. It's just it hasn't caught fire like, say, a Becky Lynch or even a Charlotte or what a Sasha Banks is doing. We'll see what happens. But we are going to get that match at Clash of Champions here in a couple weeks. So Buddy Murphy took on Daniel Bryan. This was, from what I hear, was the best match of the fucking week on WWE main roster TV, dude. Buddy Murphy defeats Daniel Bryan, dude. Daniel Bryan's such a class act, dude. He just wants to get people over, dude. Like, he just wants to make stars. I mean, that's why we saw him get pinned so many fucking times on, that world title reign that he had, going into WrestleMania this year. Buddy Murphy is... I want to see more of this guy. I want to see more of Mustafa Ali. I'm a little disappointed that they're not continuing that whole feud with him and Shinsuke. But what we revealed with Shinsuke later, where that's going, we'll get to that. So yeah, Buddy Murphy defeats Daniel Bryan, and again, this was a really good match. And if there's anything I would go back and check out off the show, it would definitely be the Daniel Bryan Buddy Murphy match. So this was all contended, throughout the night where they were teasing that. They're teasing that, saying that they have the real culprit behind who attacked Roman Reigns. So I'm sure this was being built up throughout the whole entire evening. Heavy Machinery took on the Revival. The Revival defeated Heavy Machinery, which makes sense. I mean, obviously they're challenging for the World Tag Team Championships. I mean, they're not going to fucking lose. Again, dude, I'm a fan of Heavy Machinery, dude. Like, I am a fan of these guys. I think these guys do definitely have a spot within the tag team. The tag team scene in WWE in general. And I think, dude, yeah, I mean, give it a little bit of fucking rub, I think these guys could be, well, I don't know if they're going to go any further than, they could definitely at least win the tag titles at some point. I mean, I don't know, maybe. I mean, Enzo and Cass never won the tag titles, so I don't know. Maybe not. All right, dude. Miz TV took place. We saw the introduction of Sami Zayn becoming the mouth person for Shinsuke Nakamura. Long way since Dallas fucking takeover Dallas, guys. Fuck, dude. These two had a barn burner of a match in Shinsuke Nakamura's debut within WWE, and now here, 3 years later, we're seeing Sami Zayn teaming up with Shinsuke. Like, it's not to say I'm like, I'm down on this or anything. I think it's by far, I'm more curious than ever to see where this goes. Do I have faith that it's something, a flower will blossom from this? Maybe. Are we going to find a diamond within all this charcoal? Maybe. I would hope so. Because damn, dude, both these guys' run on the main roster has been pretty fucking lackluster, dude. The fact that Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble and did not beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania fucking 33 will always be a blemish in my book, dude. Like, I've said it. I mean, that literally was the beginning of this podcast, was that coverage of that WrestleMania. And you fucking go back in the archives, dude. I shat all over it fucking WrestleMania night. Like, he should have won the World Championship. Just like Samoa Joe should have won the World Championship later that summer against AJ Styles, dude. Again, I guess so. They're taking out the Miz here, so it looks like the Miz is getting an Intercontinental title shot. Like, I don't really care that much, about, I don't know. It's like, I don't give a shit about the Miz that much, I mean, he is what he is. Is he ever going to get a world title reign, to end his career? Maybe. They just said announced on the dirt sheets that him and Maurice are spending $6.3 million on a fucking house in LA, dude. I was like, damn, $6.3 million on a fucking house? Can you only imagine, dude? Jeez. That's ridiculous. King of the Ring match here, guys. Kevin Owens took on Elias. So from what I hear, there's a lot of groveling on Kevin Owens' part. And, the fact that they're trying to push Kevin Owens as being like, not necessarily saying it's next Stone Cold, but he's a defiant fucking babyface. This whole groveling thing, I think, is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, yeah, I get it. He's the everyday common man, sure, but he fucking was willing to, he's willing to put his career on the line at SummerSlam And then, it's fined $100,000. Then he's like, last week he's just like, fuck it, added 5,000 more or whatever. Or, and then like, what? This week he's like, guys, I can't pay it. But it's like, you were willing to lose your job. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't like that. I don't like hearing about Kevin Owens fucking groveling. He ends up losing to Elias. So Elias advances in the King of the Ring tournament here. Kind of sad. I was, the whole Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn being a part of it. I was like, I really kind of hope that both of them would go far, but both of them are eliminated first round, which obviously they had bigger things for Sami Zayn, obviously going into this thing with Shinsuke. And then Owens obviously is building up another match with Shane McMahon with higher stakes at hand at that point. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see where that all goes, guys, where that all goes. So I would be remiss not to mention and talk about how NXT, it was announced this week that we'll be going head-to-head with AEW on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on USA Network. So it's like, instead of the Monday Night Wars, we now have the Wednesday Night Wars. I think it's appropriate that NXT is the chosen one to go up against AEW here. And as I am about to officially wrap wrap up my uniform, I don't know, and turn it back in regards to media for I say that very loosely. Fucking media bullshit. This is never about me. This is my own. This is just the shitty fucking podcast. That's all it is, ladies and gentlemen. But with that being said, though, I look forward to the fucking war, man. This is an amazing time to be a fucking professional wrestling fan. It's like, I know people out there are like, well, you're giving up like right before it gets good, but it's like, damn, dude, going into that schedule, dude, it's like, where am I going to do this? Like, I'm going to cover 4 hours of professional wrestling and then like record on a fucking Saturday or a Sunday? Like, I don't know. Now I don't have to really move anything around. I mean, we'll still keep our shit coming out same days. I don't know, but I'm just, Going in, I'm definitely happy for NXT, dude. Like, all those guys on that roster, I think are gonna fucking kill it. All the guys in AEW are gonna fucking kill it. And let's go, dude. War is on, motherfuckers. So with that being said, again, this is the week that was professional wrestling, guys. Dude, I just gotta say thank you to all you guys out there that took the time to download our podcast. If you literally just came exclusively for the professional wrestling and you're not a listener of the podcast that no one listens to or the In the Mouth of Madness podcast, hey, thank you so much for your time, man. And our time together was very special. And I understand if we have to part ways. I get that. Again, I understand we're taking 2 steps back at this point, but again, hopefully in the future that one giant step will lead to other things, And I definitely believe in that. I definitely believe that shit will blossom coming out of putting this toy back into its case and putting it back on the shelf there. So who's to say a year down the road we might bring this back and then we'll start with episode 107. Maybe we'll take it just a year-long break. I don't know what the future holds. I know we're saying now it's the final episode, but I mean, you never know what's gonna happen. I'm always thinking of new shit that we could fucking be doing. And again, guys, I don't know, dude. It's sad. It is sad to fucking end this shit right now, and I'm trying to end it. Oh, it's like, how do you end it on a perfect note? You can't, dude. It's just gonna be awkward and whatever, dude. So we got coming up in the next couple weeks, dude. I mean, obviously we got the finals, the King of the Ring coming up here in the next couple weeks. So I'm stoked on that. AEW's All Out is next Saturday. They just announced today that Dean Ambrose, fucking John Moxley, is pulling out from All Out because apparently he's got fucking MRSA in his elbow, which is obviously very serious. So he's not going to be fighting Kenny Omega. Next week, they've announced a replacement. Pac is going to be making his debut finally for AEW. So, kind of a lackluster announcement, but I mean, I get it. You're kind of fucking shuffling shit. I mean, it would have been kind of cool maybe to leave it as a surprise. You didn't necessarily have to announce it today, but I mean, I guess people are going to kind of figure it's Pac or whatever. I mean, we all knew he was coming in at some point. So I'm definitely stoked for that show next week. I'll definitely be watching that. Again, Night of Champions, Night of Champions. I don't fucking know. It's basically the Night of Champions pay-per-view. Clash of Champions is coming up, and we'll see That should be, again, it's WWE. It should be a fun show. And again, NXT going 2 hours on USA, dude. So I'm totally stoked to be seeing that. That starts on September 18th, so a couple weeks before. And then, of course, we got Fox, SmackDown going to Fox. I'm watching the Seahawks last Sunday take on the Vikings on, for preseason football. I'm seeing commercials for WWE SmackDown. It's like, this is fucking awesome, dude. What a time, ladies and gentlemen. What a fucking time to be a fan of professional wrestling. With that being said, guys, thank you again so much. It really, truly means everything that you guys take the time to listen to this. Until then, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, hey, let me get something straight. Those of you who are cheering me right now, you are just the biggest part of me leaving as anything else.
I want you to know I'm not crying. My eyes are red because I was in the back smoking a joint with Van Dam.
This podcast has been brought to you by Pizza Productions.